Have you ever had a day when your mind feels like a storm, when thoughts and worries keep spinning inside your head faster and faster? You tell yourself, calm down, just relax. But it doesn't work. In fact, the more you try, the worse it gets, and the more noise you hear inside your head. It feels like the problem is out there, in our busy world. Our phones are always ringing. People want our time. We have work to do and problems to solve, and inside our minds, there is no quiet moment. But here is something interesting. The real problem is not outside. The problem is inside our heads. And you know what? That is actually good news. Why? Because if the problem is inside you, then you can fix it. You have the power. Long ago, in ancient Greece and Rome, there was a school of philosophy known as Stoicism. Its followers are called Stoics. These people understood something amazing. They knew they could not control the world, but they could learn to control their inner world. And that is why they could find a quiet mind, even in the middle of chaos. Today, I want to share 9 secrets from 3 great Stoic teachers, Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus. An emperor, a wealthy writer, and a former slave. 3 completely different lives, facing 3 different kinds of storms, but they all found the same, unshakable peace. How? Because they all learned the same lesson. Peace is not luck. It is a skill. And like any skill, you can learn it. You can practice it. You can build it. This is Fluent English with Radio, where we don't just level up your English. We grow your minds and become stronger every single day. And it all starts with one powerful idea. You don't need a quieter world. You need a calmer mind. So if you're tired of all the noise in your head, these 9 secrets are for you. And don't just listen, take action. It's time to take back control of your mind. Let's begin. Secret 1. Imagine the worst to appreciate the present. Let's start with a simple question. What do you love most in your life right now? Your work? Your health? Someone you care about? Now think about that quiet space inside you. Are you afraid of losing it? Most of us are. We carry this silent fear with us every day. It's a whisper in the back of our minds. What if I lose what I have? And this very fear stops us from truly enjoying the gifts that are right in front of us. The Stoics did something that sounds strange. They thought about losing the things they loved on purpose. They sat down and imagined, what if this was gone? Why would they do that? Seneca explained it perfectly. We suffer more in imagination than in reality. Let that sink in. So much of our pain isn't from real events. It's from the terrifying stories we tell ourselves about what could happen. We live in a future that doesn't exist, and we miss the present that does. But when you dare to face your fear in your mind, it loses its power. When you imagine the worst, the fear can no longer control you. And your mind becomes clear enough to appreciate what you have. Let's bring this to life with a story. Meet Maria. She had a good job, but every day was shadowed by a fear. What if I lose this? The worry followed her everywhere, stealing her joy. One evening, she tried the Stoic way. She sat in silence, closed her eyes, and truly imagined it, losing her job. The fear was there. She could feel it. But then, she saw herself calling friends to lift her spirits and focus on new possibilities. She saw herself updating her resume, not as a chore, but as a step toward a new opportunity. In that moment, she found a strong part of herself she never knew she had. She saw herself getting through it. Then Maria opened her eyes and her job was still there. But now, something had changed. She felt grateful. She realized how lucky she was, and alongside it, a new, quiet confidence. Even if the worst happens, I will be okay. This is not about being negative. It's about writing the story in your head before fear writes it for you. There's a big difference between being chased by your fears and inviting them in for a conversation. One makes you a victim, the other makes you the director of your own mind. So here is what you can do. Once every week, pick one thing you care about. Imagine losing it for 5 minutes. This is your time to direct that conversation, not to hurt yourself. Just ask, what would I do? How would I handle it? Then open your eyes and feel grateful that you still have it. Once your mind has calmly faced loss, fear becomes smaller. And then you can feel it, a strong feeling of thanks for what you have right now. Secret 2. Remember your life will end. I know this sounds dark, but please, keep listening. This might be the most important secret of all. You see, thinking about death is not about being sad. It is really about waking up to a calmer mind and remembering what truly matters. Now let's make this personal. You're stuck in traffic. It's hot. You're tired. Then, someone drives in front of you and almost hits your car. Anger rises inside you, and you want to scream. Pause. Now, I want you to imagine that it is your last day alive. Would you want to spend it being angry at someone you don't even know? Would that anger be worth your last moments? The answer is clear. Of course not. This is the power of this secret. It works like a filter. It helps you see that things like traffic or long lines are not worth your precious energy. They are small, and you can let them go. But this secret goes much deeper. It doesn't just filter out the small problems. It also highlights what truly matters. Let me explain with a story. There were 2 brothers who stopped talking because of a small fight. 5 years went by, and they still were not speaking. Then, one brother heard that the other was very sick. Suddenly, that old fight seemed so stupid and small. He rushed to see his brother thinking, "Why did I waste all those years? Why did I let something so small keep us apart?" In that moment, faced with the idea of loss, he saw what was important. His brother, their relationship, their time together. This kind of situation reveals our biggest mistake. We live as if we have forever. We save up our patience, our kindness, and our happiness for later. But the truth is, later might never come. Remember, this is not meant to scare you. It is meant to wake you up. The Stoics had a practice called memento mori, a Latin phrase that means, remember you must die. Marcus Aurelius wrote to himself, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think." The Stoics didn't do this because they were unhappy. They did it because it made them feel more alive and see life more clearly. When you remember that life will end, everything falls away. What remains is what truly matters. And we don't have to wait for an awful thing to happen to learn this lesson. So, here is what you can do, starting today. When something makes you angry, Just stop. Take one deep breath. And ask this simple, life-changing question. If this were my last week, would this still matter? Almost always, the answer is a quiet no. And just like that, the weight lifts. Your time and energy are the most precious things you have. Spend them only on what is truly important: love, kindness, and truth. Let the small, unimportant things go. And always keep this in mind. Life is too short for borrowed anger or empty worries. Live like you mean it. Every day really does count. Secret 3. Be true to yourself. Let me ask you something honestly. Have you ever felt like you are living someone else's life? Like you are doing things just because people expect you to? Like you are pretending to be someone you are not? Maybe you work a job that makes you unhappy because society calls it successful. Or maybe you say yes when you truly want to say no. Living this way is so tiring. When you betray yourself to please others, you lose your center, and a mind without a center can never find peace. Marcus Aurelius wrote this: "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." Simple words, but so powerful. The Stoics believed in living according to nature. For them, our true nature is to be reasonable and kind. It is our true self. Think of a tree. It doesn't try to be a bird or swim like a fish. It just is, strong, quiet, and completely itself. Being true to yourself means being the best version of you. Honest, strong, and kind. It's the same for you. You have your own values and your own truth. When you live according to your truth, you feel right inside. When you go against it, you feel wrong. Your mind loses its peace because something deep inside knows you are not being real. Now imagine this situation. Your friends invite you to do something, but deep inside, you know it is not a good idea. Maybe it is something that could hurt someone. Maybe it is something that goes against what you believe in. You have two choices. You can say yes to fit in, but later you will feel uncomfortable. You will think about it. You will wish you had made a different choice. Your mind will not be calm. Or you can say no and stay true to yourself. People might be disappointed, but you will feel okay. You will know you did the right thing. And that feeling is true peace. Living by your nature isn't about doing whatever you want. It's about doing what is right. It means being the kind of person you respect. Here is your practice. Before you make a choice, big or small, pause and ask one question. Is this true to who I am? If the answer is yes, do it with all your heart. If the answer is no, stop. Don't do it, even if it's hard or others don't understand. You don't need to explain yourself to everyone. Your peace is more important than their approval. When you live in harmony with your values, your mind becomes calm. You are no longer at war with yourself. You are just being you. You cannot be peaceful if you are pretending or lying every day. The noise in your mind comes from the gap between who you are and who you pretend to be. Close that gap. Be yourself. Speak your truth. Live by your values. Watch how your mind finally quiets down and you find the peace that has been waiting for you all along. Secret 4. Practice. Simple living. Look around you. How many things do you see? How many do you really need? How many actually make you happy? Our world tells us this every day. Buy more, have more, want more. We think, if I just had more money, a bigger house, or nicer clothes, then I would be happy. But have you noticed? The more we have, the more we seem to worry. The comfort we seek often becomes a cage. Why? Because true happiness doesn't come from having more. It comes from needing less. Most of us are secretly afraid of losing comfort. We're terrified of being bored, hungry, or too hot or too cold. So we fill our lives with things that make us feel safe. We buy things we do not need. We eat for comfort, and we distract ourselves with endless entertainment. But this doesn't make us safe. It makes us mentally weak. Imagine this. You always turn on the air conditioner the moment you feel a little hot. You can't sleep without it. Then one summer, a storm hits and the power goes out for a day. The house gets hot and stuffy. You feel miserable and angry, and you can't think about anything except the heat. Now, imagine you sometimes practice living without it. You open the windows, use a fan, and get used to the natural temperature. When the storm comes and the power goes out, it's uncomfortable, but it's not a disaster. You think, it's okay, I've handled this before. I can wait until the power comes back. Do you see the difference? In the first situation, you are a prisoner of your comforts. In the second, you are in control of your mind. The Stoics, like Seneca, understood this deeply. He advised, set aside a certain number of days during which you shall be content with the scantiest and cheapest fare, with coarse and rough dress, saying to yourself the while, is this the condition that I feared? In other words, practice living with less. Not to punish yourself, but to prove to yourself that you are stronger than you think. To remind yourself that you don't need much to be okay. When you depend on comfort, you become its slave. You panic when it's gone. But when you practice living simply, you build inner strength. You prove to yourself that you can survive with less. So, once in a while, choose the harder option. Walk instead of taking the car. Eat a simple, home-cooked meal. Spend an evening without your phone or TV. Take a cold shower instead of a hot one and see how you feel. This is not about giving up everything you love. It is about training your mind and showing you that discomfort is not the end of the world. It is just for a short time, and you are strong enough to handle it. When you stop needing so many things to feel okay, you become truly free. You stop worrying about what you might lose. You realize that you already have enough. And that is the greatest strength. You prove that comfort doesn't own you and that you can feel strong without it. Secret 5. Life will not always go your way. You will fail. People will let you down. Plans will fall apart. To say this is not to be negative. It is simply to accept the truth of life. And when it happens, the first cry of the ego is always the same. This isn't fair. Why is this happening to me? In that moment, we see the problem as an enemy, something that stops our happiness. And yes, life isn't always fair. Bad things happen to good people. Hard things happen when you are already tired. Problems appear when you are not ready, but here is the truth. You cannot control what happens to you. You can only control how you respond. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The obstacle in the path becomes the path." Never forget, within every obstacle is an opportunity to improve our condition. This means the thing blocking your way is actually showing you the way forward. Every difficulty is not a stop sign. It is a teacher. Every failure is not an end. It is preparation for a new beginning. Let's see this in action with a woman named Lisa. She applied for her dream job. She prepared, interviewed, and gave it her all. And she didn't get it. The position went to someone else. Lisa felt heartbroken, disappointed, and sad. Why not me? I did everything right. But the Stoic question is different. It's not why, but what can I learn from this? Maybe it taught her that she needed to improve a specific skill. Maybe it showed her that a different company would be a better fit, or perhaps it was saving her from a job that wasn't right for her after all. By asking this, Lisa didn't just move on, she grew. What felt like a door closing became proof that she could rebuild herself even stronger. Or consider Tom, a teacher who dreamed of starting his own school. After 3 years of planning, the bank said no to his loan. His dream seemed finished, but 6 months later he met someone in a coffee shop. They talked, and this person later became his business partner. Together, they opened a school even better than Tom had first imagined. The bank's no had actually pushed him toward the right yes. The truth is, we are terrible judges of what is truly good or bad for us. We cannot see the larger picture. The very thing that seems to break us today might be the thing that builds us into who we need to be tomorrow. So, the next time something goes wrong, pause. Before you react with anger, ask yourself, what is this here to teach me? How can this help me grow? When you change your question, you change your experience. The problem doesn't disappear, but your relationship with it transforms. It is no longer your enemy. It is your trainer, your coach, your teacher. The Stoics saw every difficulty as training for the mind, just like exercise trains the body. Lifting weights is hard, but that is what makes you stronger. Your problems are your weights. They are heavy, they are hard, but they are building your inner strength, getting you ready for the incredible things that lie ahead. So stop fighting your problems. Start asking what they are teaching you. Watch how your mind becomes quiet and ready to learn. Because you are no longer a victim of life. You are a student, and life itself is your wisest classroom. Secret 6. Let go of results. Here is a story we all know too well. You work hard on something. You give it your best effort. You hope it will succeed. Then, it does not work out. The result is not what you wanted. How do you feel? Disappointed, frustrated. You feel like a failure. You feel like all your work was for nothing. This is one of the biggest reasons we suffer. We connect our happiness to a specific goal, and when we don't reach that goal, we feel like we failed. But this is a trap. You can control your effort, your actions, but you cannot control what happens after that. You do not control the result. The philosopher Epictetus gave us the key to escape. He said, "Don't hope that events will turn out the way you want. Welcome events in whichever way they happen." This isn't about giving up. This is about finding your real strength. Think about a farmer. He can control planting the best seeds. He can control watering them. He can control pulling the weeds. He can do everything perfectly right. But can he control the weather? Can he control the rain or the bugs? No. These are outside his control. If the farmer says, "I will only be happy with a perfect harvest," he will suffer. But if his good feeling comes from knowing he did his part, that he took care of his field with care and hard work, then he can have a quiet mind no matter what happens to the harvest. You are like that farmer. You control your hard work. You control your preparation. You control your actions today. But the final result? It depends on many things you cannot control, like luck or other people's decisions. Maybe you study hard for a test, but you get sick on the exam day. Maybe you are kind to someone, but they are rude to you. These things happen. They can hurt, but they do not have to destroy your peace. Every time you work on something important, ask yourself 2 questions. First, is this within my control? If it's the final result, the answer is no. Let it go. Second, if it is within your control, like your effort, then ask, am I doing my best? If you can answer yes to doing your best, then your work is done. You can rest. This doesn't mean you stop caring. You can hope for the best and prefer a good outcome, but you stop tying your self-worth and your inner calm to it. And when you do this, something beautiful happens. You become calmer and focused, and often you perform even better. Why? Because you are no longer tense with the fear of failure. You are free to focus, to create, to do your best work for the love of the work itself. So remember this. Focus on the process, not the prize. Pour yourself into your actions, not the outcome. A calm mind does not come from winning. It comes from knowing that you did the right thing. It comes from the quiet knowledge that you showed up, you did your best, you acted with character, no matter what happened next. Do your best, always, and then have the courage to let go of the rest. Secret 7. Write every night. At the end of the day, you lie down in bed, exhausted. You close your eyes, but your mind won't shut off. It replays conversations from today. It worries about tomorrow. It's like a movie you can't stop watching, and it's stealing your sleep and your peace. This happens because your mind is full. It's full of thoughts, feelings, and experiences with nowhere to go. So they just spin inside your head, keeping you awake. But what if you could clean your mind before sleep? The Stoics had the answer for this. Marcus Aurelius and Seneca both practiced it. They took time every night to think about their day. They asked themselves questions. They wrote down their thoughts. They cleared their minds before sleeping. This isn't about judging yourself. It is about making your messy thoughts clear. When you write, you don't just watch your thoughts, you shape them. You bring order to the noise so your mind can rest. And once your thoughts are on paper, they stop spinning in your mind. You feel lighter. You feel at peace. So here's what you can do tonight. Before you sleep, take just 5 minutes. You don't need a fancy journal, just a notebook, or even your phone. Write 3 simple things. First, what is one thing you're grateful for today? It can be small, a warm cup of coffee, a smile from a stranger, the sun on your skin. This helps your mind focus on the good. Second, what made you stressed or upset today? Be honest. I felt angry when my boss said, I was worried about money. Just write it down. Don't judge it. When you name your feelings, you create distance from them. They lose their power. Third, what is one small thing you want to do better tomorrow? Not 10 things, just one. Tomorrow, I will listen more patiently. Or, I will speak more kindly. Small, specific. You can do it. That is it. 3 simple questions. 3 simple answers. When you do this every night, your mind feels heard, so it stops shouting. You start to see patterns in what makes you happy or stressed. And you clean your mind before sleep like washing your face. Your sleep gets deeper. Your dreams become calmer. I know you might think, I don't have time. But you spend hours on your phone. Can you not spend 5 minutes with yourself? Those 5 minutes might be the most important of your day, because they are minutes spent understanding and caring for you. So tonight, try it. Write those 3 things. See how you feel. Do it again tomorrow night. Make it a habit. The Stoics wrote not for praise, but for peace. Your words don't need to impress anyone. They only need to be honest. In that honesty, your mind finally rests. Secret. 8. Do not believe every thought. A thought appears in your mind. Someone looks at you in a strange way. Immediately your mind says, they do not like me. Nobody likes me. You don't know if it is true. And just like that, your mood drops. You feel sad, worried, alone. But wait, where did all that come from? One look, one moment. And suddenly your mind has created a whole story, a story that might not even be true. This is a very important Stoic lesson. Your thoughts are not facts. They are just thoughts. They come and go like clouds in the sky or leaves floating down a river. Marcus Aurelius said, your mind will be like its habitual thoughts, for the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. If you think fearful thoughts all day, your life will feel scary. If you think angry thoughts, your life will feel full of conflict. The Stoics taught that we control our judgments. We cannot control what thoughts appear, but we can control whether we believe them. Not having a perfect mind with no negative thoughts, but having the wisdom to see thoughts for what they are. It's important to understand, you are not your thoughts. Imagine sitting by a river. Thoughts are leaves floating on the water. They come, they pass, they go. You don't need to jump in and grab every leaf. You can just sit and watch them float by. Your thoughts are the same. When a negative thought comes, do not fight it. Don't believe it immediately. Just simply give it a name. Say to yourself, this is worry, or this is fear. When you name the thought, you step back from it. You are no longer inside the thought. You are outside looking at it. And when you do this, the thought loses its power. It becomes smaller, quieter. Look at this example. A lady named Kate used to believe every anxious thought. If she thought something bad might happen, she was sure it would. Her mind was full of worry all the time. It was so tiring. Then she learned to say, This is just anxiety speaking. This is not the truth. The anxiety did not disappear completely, but its power over her got weaker because she no longer believed it to be the truth. She was seeing it as just a thought, just a feeling. You can do this too. When your mind tells you something negative, pause and ask, is this actually true, or is this just my mind being worried? Most of the time, it's just noise, old fears, old stories. Be the watcher of your mind. Look at your thoughts like you look at clouds. Notice them, name them, but do not grab them. Let them pass. When you practice this, your mind becomes quieter. Not because there are fewer thoughts, but because you've stopped fighting them. You're just watching, calmly, peacefully. Remember, you are not your thoughts. You are the one who watches them. And in that space between you and your thoughts, you will find a deep and lasting peace. Secret 9. Focus on what you can control. You are worried. Your mind is full of questions. Will they call me back? Will they like me? Why is my friend angry? Why is the traffic so bad? Why did my past mistake happen? These questions fill your head. They keep you awake at night. They make your stomach feel tight. But here is the hard truth. You cannot answer these questions because they are about things you do not control. Epictetus said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This is one of the most important lessons in Stoicism, and it is also one of the hardest to accept. This secret is about your feelings right now. It is about where you put your energy every day when things go wrong. You can control your effort, your attitude, your reactions, and your choices. You cannot control what other people think, the weather, the past, the final result of your efforts, and many other outside things. We waste so much energy trying to control everything. The opinions we can't change, futures we can't predict, and people we can't convince, it's exhausting. But when you focus only on what you can control, everything changes. You stop feeling like a victim of your life. You start feeling powerful again. Let me show you how. Take a piece of paper, draw a line down the middle. On the left, write, "What I control." On the right, write, "What I do not control." Think about something that's worrying you right now. Let's say you are stuck in bad traffic and you will be late for work. On the left side, you could write, "My breathing, my calm, the music I listen to, calling my boss to say I will be late." On the right side, write, "The traffic, the red lights, other drivers, my boss's reaction." Your mission is simple. Focus all your energy on the left side. These are the only things worth your energy. And let go of the right side. Stop worrying about it. Accept that you cannot change it. Consider the story of a young woman named Rose. She spent years trying to change her negative mother. She kept trying to make her warmer, more positive. She suffered so much. Then one day, she realized something. She could not control how her mother acted, but she could choose to stop waiting for approval that might never come. Rose still loved her mother, but she just stopped fighting a battle she could never win, and she found peace in that. Life is like sailing a boat. You can't control the wind or the waves, but you can always change your sails. A good sailor doesn't waste energy shouting at the storm. He focuses on steering his ship. So stop trying to control other people. Stop trying to control the future. Instead, control your effort. Control your attitude. Control your words. Control your choices. These are yours. These are your power. You cannot change everything, but you can always change something. Focus on that something and let the rest go. This is the secret to feeling powerful and peaceful, no matter what life throws at you. We have reached the end of our journey through these 9 Stoic secrets, 9 ways to find a calm mind no matter what life brings. Let me be clear, a calm mind does not come when life gets easier. It comes when you learn to stay calm in the middle of the storm. The Stoics like Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, Epictetus, they weren't perfect. They faced illness, betrayal, and loss. But they discovered the most important thing is that while they could not control the storm outside, they could always learn to find calm inside. So remember this, you don't need a quieter world, you need a calmer mind. And after today, you have the tools to build it. Here is my simple advice for you. Start with just 1 secret this week, and be patient with yourself. A calm mind is built slowly, 1 day, 1 choice at a time. You will still have difficult days. This is normal. This is being human. But now, when the storm comes, you will not be swept away. You will know what to do. You are stronger than you think, wiser than you believe, and you already have the power to calm your mind. Thank you for watching this video. If it helped you, please share it with someone who needs a calmer mind too. Until next time, take care of yourself. Be well, be calm, be strong.